Hello, friends and neighbors. Swaggy Man Piper 1926 here. Out back of the house on my little stoop. The heater essentially is running. And then it stopped. I've had this on my mind ever since I come back from Florida. Smoking a little thermofilter that was given to me by a customer of mine, and this is a Nimrod lighter. The exact model, because I think Nimrod is a brand I'm not sure of. If I'm wrong on that, somebody let me know. Yeah, there we go. Smoking a little vintage. Chickens are having a disagreement. Smoking a little bit vintage Codger Corner from my friend Pat Paladin. I'm going to turn the trim the wick down or put a new one in it. So that little lighter right there, it's a cousin of mine's. It's a cousin's husband's dad's. I have some older cousins. This gentleman who gave it to me would have, or is the age of that Dad would have been. So he's late 60s, and his dad smoked a pipe, and he was cleaning out. I think he was cleaning out the house whenever either his mother had passed away, or maybe they had to put her in a nursing home. I can't remember. But he found a few of these lighters, and I said, well, he said, I want you to have this. I said, well, this was your dad's. I don't want to take it. He said, no, I've got one myself. Dad had several. He said, I want you to have it. I said, well, thank you. So, what all this is kind of leading up to is, and I'll probably make this the title of the video, is remembering the old guard. Be a lot easier if I could remember how to get this whole sucker lit. That's better. And all this is brought upon by my visit there in Florida with my aunt, who is the last I think of burning wood. Last family member. Well, not last family member, but the last one of my grandparents. Both my mama and papa have passed on. Dad died. My Aunt Vicky, and of course her husband, um, you know, they're the last ones that I can reminisce, if you will, of those days. Short of my mother, but she doesn't always remember, and there's some other things there. But you know, my Aunt Vicky will bring it up. You know, I wished I'd have paid more attention to this or that or the other, or um, because my grandmother, because I was asking my Aunt Vicky about, I think it was certain recipes or what Mama, the way something Mama fixed or how she fixed, or I don't remember the conversation now, but I was asking her about it, and she said, I don't remember, I don't know, and we exchanged uh, you know, memories of, I remember when this happened and this happened, so on and so forth. But a lot of us never get to meet the people that we have, or that we get the older pipes from. So, most of you out there, I would assume, doesn't or won't exactly be able to. What am I trying to say? Let me step back. Most of you folks probably haven't met from where you got your estate pipes, the people who used to smoke them. I have the privilege of meeting a couple that is actually customers of mine that is just know that I smoke a pipe and has drug out either a pipe or pipes, and either give me the pick or just handed me the pipe. And all that kind of follows into, do you ever sit down and with, if you knew the individual, do you ever sit down and just try and put yourself in their mind, or put your in their maybe day? How'd you smoke it? What'd you smoke? Or the stories to be told? One thing that I remember, and it's not even family, it's just older folks here. Um, there was always time standing in the middle of the grocery store. For a pair of folks to park their buggies to the side and talk and exchange a story. Matter of fact, I remember a time when I was early teenager, I think, 12, 13, and um, met, or I was in the store with my dad, and a gentleman come over, and Dad knew, they knew one another, and wasn't listening all the conversation, But that particular gentleman, and found out in later years, uh, served with I think it was either the 101st or the 506th Airborne, parachuted into D-Day, or on D-Day, and he was telling Dad what Patton really said uh, before they jumped. But if you've ever watched the movie Patton, he gets up and the um, gives a speech or a whatever you want to call it. And he said that's not, some of the words are true, but not, that's not really how that, the right words. Which I only caught a few. So, as it was not necessarily vulgar, but it had a few explicitives in it that is not necessarily good for polite company. But the stories to be told on your pipe, with your pipe, particularly if it's a estate. And I've been thinking about this as well. The the sorry, my mind just went blank. The that thought process just stopped. Um, who who is the keeper of your stories? Who will tell the story when you forget? Something I've been thinking about doing, folks, is starting to write a little book for my son. Um, of the stories that I remember from my grandparents, that so they're not forgotten. There is truly a wealth of knowledge that we lose whenever essentially the elderly pass. Especially the generation that's leaving, because they were, a lot of them were the Depression era folks. And the way they had to do some things should be remembered, should be wrote down. Nothing else for posterity. Oh, by the way, um, I found out the other day through my wife that one of the other, or my wife spoke to one of the other mothers that has children in kindergarten with my son. That she is so thankful for Russell, which obviously piqued my wife's interest and very much piqued mine whenever my wife was telling me that the lady's daughter had to start late in kindergarten. Now, she had been in preschool with most of these um, kids, but she was kind of a delicate girl, and was is very shy and backwards and so on and so forth. But she had no more opened the door whenever she started, because she started, I think it was a couple months late, that Russell jumped up and took her by the hand and introduced her to everybody. Showed her all the stations. And all that stuff. And that made the transition of that little one starting kindergarten. So, just wanted to share that with you. I think the next time my son comes up to me to tell me that he wants to be like me when he grows up, I believe I'm going to look at him and tell him no. I want to be like you when I grow up. You folks take care out there. Sorry, this is a longer video. I meant to actually write down some notes, so I'd have a clear line of thought. But I knew if I didn't do it now, I wasn't going to do it. And I'd like to get back in the habit of trying to get a second video out during the week. So, y'all stay safe. Hopefully, you're not going to get snowed in or anything like that. I don't know if you can tell, but snow is starting to, snow or ice is starting to drop right now. Well, y'all take care of yourselves. And remember, kindness costs us nothing.